Right into it tonight. The format is very flexible. We'll probably have some time for people to just come up and read stuff that they would like to read. But we're going to start off with the established players.
Why gotta be quotes?
The legends of the game in Bermuda. And the first one we're going to have up to the mic. I'll do myself. Mr. Alan Smith, give us a round.
That's Alan C. Smith. Alan Smith is for my children's work, and there's definitely a distinction. However, I'm not going to do anything tonight that children can't hear. The first poem that I'm going to do is Kim Dismont Robinson and I are working on a book of poems written around stories that appear in Chained on the Rock. So I'm going to read a few of the ones that I've done. This first one is published in Caribbean Writer, their 25th anniversary volume, which the themes were Haiti and freedom, the flight of Ajax and Mentor. The appearance of the Gumbays always caused a great turnout of blacks. During Christmas 1830, two slaves used the arrival of a Gumbay troop as a means of escape. Chained on the Rock, page 95. I was the hand that night, the drum and rapid rhythm, the painted face, warrior from motherland channeled. I was the stepping, the jumping, the intricate working of feet, one with the night and the throng. My fleeing brother beside me and I with the jumping, the chanting, the spirit reclaimed and unleashed. A collective breath inhaled and released on the beats, the splintering song, cicada chorus humming with the drumming. We were the bandits bent on stealing the treasure that already was ours, but stripped from the spirit and body. But there is a limb you can take from a man with a phantom pain that never subsides. A limb you can amputate, but it always exists in his mind. We were the gathered when Africa, in essences ancient descended, possessed our backs, thighs, and pelvises. Many had taken the god of our masters, but Africa, never hidden for long, came when invoked by the Gumbay drums or song. Yes, we were the fluid working limbs, waving shirts and head rags in rapturous pleasure, until we peeled off, folded into the fleckless black. We were threads in the cloth of the cloak of the night, threads in the cloth of the cloak of the night, threads in the cloth of the cloak of the night. We flew like summer squalls across Great Bay, heartbeats in our ears like the thunderous clapping of sails flapping in the wind's fury, willed invisible like the thing we were trying to reclaim. We ran in the lightless night, the drums and shouts drifting away like tendrils of selves we were no longer. We ran from memory toward a mouth in the earth whose fresh breath greeted us, water dripping from crystalline teats in the aisles underneath. Dripping from the pools in our eyes, we met, eyes renewed, now brothers in perilous flight. Our passion for a birthright stolen, recovered that night. Only then did we dare to embrace, to shout it in our minds, to think, hold it in our hands, to sing it quietly, to say it, to grasp freedom. Another story briefly outlined in Chained on the Rock, The Sound Divide. The trials and tribulations two slave lovers had to overcome before they were allowed to marry was related by a Bermudian author, William Zuhl, in his book Bermuda Journey, Chained on the Rock, page 83. Some just know. He knew when he saw her figure floating before him in this distance, a shadow of tomorrow. She knew when the breeze told her to turn, that he was behind her. He was more sure when she turned at his wish. It was confirmed for her by his dreamlike silhouette. Fate that even the birds, the insects, the sky seemed to recognize. And they might have noticed themselves that nature had become all urgent if they could avert their eyes from the vision foreseen they were seeing. Truthfully, he had never seen her face, but there was something. She had never envisioned such startling beauty, but his was the frame of her lucid dreams. There was something familiar in her impossibly small waist, long neck, delicate chin, and graceful carriage. The broad-shouldered, narrow-hipped frame from her dream. She walked toward him, although the laws of coquetry would dictate otherwise. It was done, her waiting. Although the most significant in their short lives, the melody of this moment was too simple to be remarkable. The notes too comfortable and easy to hit. To the human onlooker, nothing more than ordinary. But it was finished, their incompleteness. It was over, their incompleteness, and nothing would keep them apart, not weather, nor water, nor the slavery they were born into that daily denied them the meanest of human wants, the total of human desire. But you can deny the human body almost anything, and over time, like lesser living beings, we will adapt. But the heart of art and music, the heart bold and sure, the heart that knows beyond logic and comfort is more defiant. Defiantly, she stood by the shore that first night, patient as a cedar with lamplight to guide him. He, on the other side, was not without fear of potential peril inherent in sounds unfathomed depths. But true death was a day, a lived life without her hair on his face, without her voice safe in the cave of his ear. Rather fondle death than the decreed scooped out life without her. He dove somewhere deep inside himself as he dove into that unknowable realm. He swam like waterfall, hardly registering the ache in his limbs. Her freshness, the vision of a beacon on the other shore. His body barely felt the chilly water's fingernails trailing down his sinewy flesh, and his breath, though labored, was a meditative rhythm. Seeing only good omen in the glowing flat white belly of a manta soaring overhead, disappearing as it crashed down, causing him to choke a bit on its innocent spray. And just that moment, he saw the lamp and her shape solid. She heard him before she saw him and rushed into the sea to hoist him out. She would gladly have braved the ocean herself, but at 22, she was old enough to know that some days she would be the one to travel the great divides that would sometimes yawn between them. Anew, she was moved by his simple, gentle strength, the limitless beauty in his glance, the singularity of his devotion, his small mouth devoured by her larger one, the taste of the sea she sipped from the plump, ripe Adam's apple, licked from her own full lips. Their meetings were repeated nightly until discovery. She forbidden to see him, he bound and chained to the rock like chattel. But nothing, because the heart is more defiant. Defiantly, she stood the following night as all the others before, like a cedar swathed in lamplight. Defiantly, he swam the sound again, shackles dangling from his left ankle like an ornament. Metal pole clutched in his left hand, the effort dulled by the knowledge of her healing oasis there somewhere shoreward. This time, even their masters had to realize what he, she, all creation knew. Some just know. That spring they were wed.